One of the most all-encompassing terms used in the men's development space is the masculine frame. It can be difficult to discern for most people what that actually entails and how to manifest it in the best possible manner. I believe it stretches across the tangible and intangible, so let me walk you through the process of how to develop a masculine frame that helps you get ahead of most men in the world. First, here's a bit of context. In modern society, with the breakdown of patriarchal father figures, men are left bereft and in search of a man they can look up to and emulate. We are living in a generation of men raised only by women, or at least raised in a weak social message that indoctrinates them from the start. Here are 7 key secrets you need to master if you want to develop that coveted masculine frame. Number 1. Develop fortitude through struggle and hardship. There's a famous saying that I absolutely love: masculinity is forged, femininity is retained. The problem in the modern world is that there are no longer enough challenges for men to forge that masculinity. That is where a masculine frame is supposed to come from. Frame encompasses everything from the way you speak and stand, to the way you treat a woman and hold a conversation. It applies to everything in your life because it relates to who's in control. It's about having the ability to influence the narrative, steer conversations, hold your ground, exercise emotional restraint, and have control over your life. In the olden days, men used to have father figures who taught them everything about being a man. Even if you look at the action heroes of the 80s and 90s, you see something that a young boy could aspire to. In modern society, males never make that transition from boys to men and remain weak and timid enough to lose all their masculine frame. Number 2. Ground your conversations in facts rather than emotion. Let's say you're out with a girl on a date, and you're having an emotionally charged conversation. It's a scenario I've been in many times and seen play out in front of me as well. A man who has no frame control will inevitably get sucked into the emotional whirlpool of the female narrative instead of grounding the conversation in facts. Whereas a man who does have a masculine frame will control the pace and emotion of the date and steer the conversation to where he wants. Just last year, I was watching a table talk conversation between actor Will Smith and his wife after she cheated on him. That to me was one of the greatest displays of weak frame I have witnessed in recent times, and I encourage every man to go watch that for a lesson of what not to do. Jada was able to control the pace and direction of the conversation, all the while Will didn't say a word to challenge her or put her on the back foot for cheating. Number 3. Your physicality is the foundation of a masculine frame. But not just conversations, a masculine frame translates into a lot more. Your physicality as a man is one of the greatest displays of your frame and can let anyone from a distance know the caliber of man that you are. A strong man in good shape signals that you take your life seriously and are not afraid of stepping up to someone to defend yourself. Even if unconscious, men that have a strong physical presence are able to garner the respect and attention of people around them. This means that other men naturally defer to your frame and authority, which translates into real opportunities for you in life. Frame is about standing tall, having wide shoulders with good posture, and not being afraid to look people in the eye, be it men or women. There are quite a few things that go into building a physical masculine frame, and I'd like to lay them out for you briefly. It is imperative that your physical stature communicates an aura of confidence around you that lets others know that you're facing life head-on instead of shrinking back into safety like a turtle. I believe every man in the world should work out. There are things that cannot be explained in mere words and can only be experienced to be understood. Building a strong body is more about the mind than about the body. Understand this: when you know you look imposing, that's how you act. There is a whole other level of confidence to you when you look big and strong, even when faced with a threat. Having a wide back and well-developed shoulders is the key to having a strong masculine frame. Number 4. Have ambition and direction in life. Then there's a more general permeation of masculine frame throughout your life. It's about being in control of where you're going in life and having a solid foundation of community, finances, and family around you that give you meaning and purpose. I see too many men that are living a hedonistic life, just drowning themselves in impulsive pleasures with no respect for themselves and no one to be responsible for. That is the very antithesis of a masculine frame. Having a masculine frame is like having guardian wings that allow everyone to come under safety and guidance. When people believe in you, adopt your ideals, and stand with you. That is the greatest frame control you can establish. Number 5. Curate a team of masculine men around you. The most important thing you need to have for a strong frame is something that people seldom seem to understand. I believe that men are truly in their most powerful masculine energy when they are in a team of other strong, respected men. Across history, men have banded together in armies, sports teams, and gangs in order to find meaning and support from other men that understand them. Here's the deal. When you're with competitive men, you have no choice but to be competitive. You can only have a strong masculine frame when others around you have the same. I have seen respected, dignified men go on a downward spiral when they're saddled with the responsibilities of life. I'm not blaming them, but I do believe that it has to be compensated by spending time with high-quality men who bring out the best in you. As they say, you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I think that applies most in this context. Build a team of high-value men around you, and your masculine frame will find a reason to manifest. Number 6. Develop and understand the philosophy of Stoicism. There is an ancient philosophy that I think men need in the modern world more than anything. Stoicism is about rising above your emotions as a man and doing what you must regardless. And this applies to emotions like grief, anger, and even happiness. Emotional decisions are often regretted, and they chip away at your masculine frame, which is supposed to be rational and level-headed. People like Andrew Tate in the modern world are trying to bring back this forgotten way of living and inspiring men to have control over their emotions instead of being controlled by them. Stoic men have an aura of leadership around them. They are like an unshakable rock that people can lean against in times of crisis. This is the quality that separates the strong from the weak men of the world. Number 7. Slightly slow down your speech and body movements. This is something that very few men are aware of, but it is one of the easiest ways to come across as a man in control. Jittery and quick hand movements signal a degree of nervousness. Men that speak too fast or in a high pitch come across as anxious or excited, and that is very opposite of what a healthy masculine frame needs. I encourage men to watch the James Bond series, not for the plot or action, but for Bond's mannerisms. He is the quintessential alpha male of cinema, and all things about his character are very deliberate. Even in a hostage situation or at the negotiation table, it is impossible to get an emotional rise out of James Bond. Use this to your advantage. Speak slowly in both speed and tone. Control the pace of the conversation, and never let your body language signal that you are nervous or confused. Apply this advice and become the best version of yourself possible. Be the man that other men want to be and other women want to be with. There's a lot more high-value content on the way that can help put you in the top 1% of men. So like this video and hit the subscribe button for more.